Hello, I'm Glenn Brooks. I want to say hello and welcome. And beyond the formula, beyond the formula, we get many formulas in life. We're supposed to do it this way. We're supposed to wear a certain thing. We're supposed to talk a certain way. We're supposed to follow the latest email about a certain formula to be successful online. So there's a lot of copycat, a lot of, we're doing things based on someone else who did something years ago, and now they're saying it's going to be great for us. And kind of like me too, me too. So this series, Beyond the Formula, that I'm doing with Michael J. Russ, is really to get that in a different mentality. It's the ability to really focus on what's unique and one of a kind about you and your message. So you can go beyond. You can go beyond. You can make your competition obsolete. You can go beyond the competitive game, and really, once you go beyond that, your creative resource goes up. Your sense of being able to contribute, and you don't got to rely on notes or straining for ideas, because when you settle into what you feel your unique contribution is, the spirit or the energy of that comes alive to people in a very different way. So some of you know us or know me from Unscripted Power, and the basic premise of Unscripted Power is that the script kills the talk, and that you could be responsive, you could be resourced without having a script. And I know this is totally different than what they teach us in school. And think about when you were a kid and you felt moved. Your body kind of moved you, and you stood up. You didn't conform to get along, and you went beyond the what's the word I'm looking for? The artificial occupations. Artificial occupations where you kind of sell who you are out. So if you're someone who's listening and thinking, God, I got to do something different, and I'm getting bombarded by emails, and there's another script, and there's another formula, this is going to be for you to speak to people in a genuine, authentic way, to communicate your message, and just really touch people so they want to pursue you. And they realize that it's you. They're not reading from some script that you read from something else. So me and Michael, after 2 years of working with people around the world on a one-of-a-kind format, and building an amazing team, and building a team of people that gave up getting paid to contribute, to touch people on our series, which finished off on a huge FM station in San Francisco. So I think you'll glean some benefits from this, and it's all going to be very different what you thought about before, what you thought was the way to go about things. So I invite you to kind of empty out your mind, kind of like tune into your soul. Or as Earl Nightingale used to say, you got to kind of tap your soul with a stick. Get in touch with it, because all these formulas distract us and dilute that authentic message. And when whether you approach a magazine, or you approach a program director, or you want to work with a speakers bureau, you want to touch them with something that's a new and distinct part of the ocean, what I call the blue ocean. In the blue ocean, there's no sharks, there's dolphins and other fish that you don't have to fight against what you think is your competition. That's going to be a big theme. And as you make the shift between one nervous system to the other, so the first nervous system is your sympathetic. That's where you're in emergency and over-focused and overstrained. We're going to move you to the other part. We're going to assist you in feeling the parasympathetic. That's where flow comes in, ease. A sense that you could actually listen and be responsive. You don't have to grab your notes. And so if you're someone who really wants to have a different approach, that's creative, alive, restorative, it's playful, and you want to enroll people from a perspective of community, and you really can see this as a process. It's not something you just read and jam down your brain. This is really about you becoming more alive. I think you're going to find some surprises in this course that, as many people have reported for the last 27 years, they've discovered new careers, they've discovered things that bring them the most meaning. So you could have meaning in your marketing, you could have creativity and spontaneity in your presentation, and you could be the exception to the rule. And I could give you many examples, which we will, how newspapers have responded, speakers bureaus, experts, and spokespeople who joined with us because the approach was so enticing to them. And by the way, I'm honored to be teaching this with Michael J. Russ, who I had the honor of doing this 2-year journey. And as part of that, I assisted Michael in developing a best-selling book called Zero Adversity, which many of you know about. So I'm very enthused about this. And by the way, I've taught this course in different forms, including to the Czech Institute, the most elite holistic fitness coaching organization in the world. And one of the things I pointed out to them is you cannot market to people. You cannot touch people from a script. It's got to be real and authentic and in their language. Let's talk about language too. How do you really speak in the language of the client? How do you speak in the language that's most authentic and alive for you, and it speaks to them? That's a beautiful thing. You don't got to go out of sync with yourself. You don't got to get in the way of yourself. What I want you to do is get in the flow, or they say the Tao, of what's moving you, and from that, you're going to move people. So it's very different than you're trying to get people, you're going to get clients, like all this idea that there's this, force out there and you got to break through it. Rather, you just need to engage people at a level that, there's a level where people want to engage from that. There's a sensation of vitalness that they want to get out of the game. And the game being this like sell, 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 and roll and roll and roll. And people literally have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on all this stuff. And it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So we're going to go for the genuine, the authentic. I want you to get a vision book, and I want you to really be open and be empty. What I've discovered is the people that really, whether it's being a great leader or a great author, they have this emptiness. So emptiness is a very important part of this approach. We must be empty to receive something that's distinct and unique, so we could be the purple cow, or that kind of animal that when it comes in, everybody's like, well, what's that? Right? I want to kind of discover that. When you see a beautiful dog, you pull towards that dog, right? You feel the energy of the dog, or the horse, or the cat. Undomestication is very attractive in our civilization. Something undomesticated with energy, breath, and the movement. So I want you to be thinking this is the whole body, a whole energy system. It's in you, you've had it, and what's blocked it is you rehearsing and scripting. So with that, I'll let Michael J. Russ join me, because it's always better to have a dialogue, and because I'm interested in emptying and learning. So Michael J. Russ, my co-presenter, my co-partner in Beyond the Formula.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to be going beyond the formula big time. Today, really what this is all about is giving you an opportunity to not only learn about what going beyond the formula really is, but it's giving you a taste. And today we're going to talk about one of the specific topics that we cover within this process, this project, that we hope that you will join us on this journey to develop your own authentic discover, I should say, your own authentic message. And today we're going to talk about making your competition obsolete. Making your competition obsolete. It's not a fight against them. That's not what this is. It's about you developing your authentic message, putting it out there, and creating a vibe, a resonance that literally attracts your clients to you, your customers, people to your product, your service, your book, whatever it is. When you put yourself out there, you are, it is a distinct, authentic replication of you. So make your competition obsolete. This was something that you brought up, Glenn, for a little bit. So I'm gonna let you take this, because I know that by the way, that was an awesome description of what this course really is. There's too much patterned marketing out there. There's too many formulas, and the point is, people are tired of formulas. They're tired of them. They're tired of being marketed to. They're tired of the robocalls, or the cold calls, or the pitches that come from people who have a product or service or some business or have a book. It's all the same. And it's just, when you get too much of the same, what you get is people who become just disinterested. They become desensitized to it. So how do you make yourself stand out? So Glenn, I want to put the question to you. How do you make your competition obsolete?
It's an ongoing, it's funny, Michael. I was at this meeting. I was at a business meeting 2 days ago. And then one of the pitch they had for the people, it's a business group called BNI, Business Network International. And they always say at BNI meetings, screen the competition out, sign up today. And it always sounds, it is a stale sales pitch. It's a fear motivation. And I always think to myself, well, I don't have any competition. I don't care if there's 100 writers in the room, or there's 100 coaches in the room. I just focus on what's really distinctly moving what I find the most moving and engaging, and what I pay attention to is how a person breathes and their eyes. When I had a paper out when I was 17, I started to notice that certain people were so enthused to see me again. I was like Coach on a bike. I'd roll up to their house, and they would share with me things I could tell they hadn't shared with anybody else the whole week. I was 17, but I made it a practice. When I was 17, I was reading books like Become Younger by Dr. Norman Walker. And when he was in his 50s, he was dying, and he talked about, he was the first person to squeeze the juice out of vegetables. He was the inventor of all that. He developed a juice called the Norwalk. And I would just share these stories with people. So how I made my competition obsolete was no other newspaper boy talked like me. They didn't think like me. There was a natural stream that I was in, and I couldn't wait to share it with the clients. I couldn't wait to share it with my family of customers. I didn't even think of it in the terms. It was kind of like, later today I'm going to do a video with my 18-year-old friend Jake. He's 18. We're going to do the energy of intimacy. I already know it's
beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, awesome.
So I just feel like, well, we're going to do this, and yeah. And he said, Glenn, be prepared. I'm going to ask you all these questions. And I said, Jake, that's great. I don't have the answers, but we're going to have a great time exploring.
Exactly. It's an exploration. What you're really talking about there is a vibe. When you walk into a room, if you go to a business function, there's a lot of people who belong to the chambers and this and that, and they come across businesses. Everybody's there to market their product and service. I mean, that's really why the chamber exists, to bring people together. There are other groups like that as well, networking groups, other than the one that you were talking about, the BMI. The point though is that when you engage someone, it's how you engage them. It's the relationalness of yourself with these people. It's bringing a vibe with you, a strength, as it were, an inner confidence, and a message that is completely different. And what we're looking to do in this program, going beyond the formula, is to help bring that message out of you. It's through your heart. It's not in the head. It's not in the head, because this is the way people communicate. You don't touch somebody from your head with knowledge. You touch them through their heart. So the idea is to talk about this enough to create and cultivate this distinct message from within you. It's not something we're going to go outside to some outside books and we want you to read this, we read that. This is your message. This is your message. And when you bring that distinctive, unique, and authentic, sincere message to someone who could be a client of yours, or a prospective client, or a customer for your product, service, or even someone to buy your book, the message you're bringing is not a message of marketing. It's a message of who you are and why you do what you do. When someone says, "Oh, you're really passionate about what you're about this book," people talk to me when I say, "You're really passionate about this." Oh, absolutely. The passion just flows from you. It flows from you. It's not a marketing message. It's distinctively coming from within you, and it's just flowing out. But it's doing so in a very, very distinctive way. That's the way we want to help you put this together. That's what we want. We want to get that from you, draw it out of you, and bring it forward. And there's no competition. There's no competition. And by the way, I got to tell you this. This is why we kind of come together, why we came together a couple of years ago on radio. I have that same situation. People, when I was growing up, people told me things, guys, women, people would tell me things that they wouldn't tell their best friends, and they wouldn't tell their parents. They just told me things. People still do it today. A complete stranger. My girlfriend and I, we sitting in a bar at a restaurant waiting to get a table. She uses the restroom. She comes back, and I can introduce her to the people sitting next to me, and I know, what the name of their dog is, where they came from, what they drove, how long they've been here, where they're staying, do they like it? I mean, she's like, I was only gone for like 3 minutes. How did you get all this info? It's like when you're yourself, you're authentic.
I like something you just said so much, and I'll say it. I'll simplify it. You said it. it's really about the day where you come into the day being interested rather than being interesting, right? You're interested rather than being interesting. And
Right.
that shifts the whole thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're interested in someone else. It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
Numerous examples. I remember I was working once with the Chamber of Commerce, and the woman had broken her wrist, and I knew what she was going through. She was having a dilemma with the surgical team, and she was terrified. And I remember someone 10 years ago, 15 years ago, she didn't tell me certain things because she didn't want to pollute my mind about the outcome of this. I had a very bad break. And I passed that on to her. And it was like the next time I came to town, it's a beach town, Rockport, Massachusetts. So get this, she was like, Glenn, what do you need? I'll write you a personal to any place you want to visit. And it was like we had this click. And it's like once you're inside with the client or with the potential reader or someone in the audience like that, like I gave a presentation called Being Paid for Who You Are. And these four, they're probably in their 20s. They came in, and this one girl was cracking gum. She was blowing these big bubbles. And I kind of looked at her and I said, that was a really good bubble, that last bubble. And they laughed and they came over to me afterwards. They said the last speaker, they felt really screened out. And they felt like I invited them in. So inviting people in, it relieves your anxiety. That's what I do when I speak in public. I often think, who's the person who seems like they want to be in this? And other people look like that they want to get through it. So my idea is let's connect and let's invite them in. And then from there, I feel like 100% the resource for that audience I'm actually speaking to. And I feel like me and you have this complimentary way of generating that. So when people often come on our show, like in San Francisco, so many guests would be like, wow, I feel like I'm coming up to a warmed up dinner, and I feel like you guys just served me soup and the main meal. I just feel so at ease, and it's this wonderful flow, and it's like we become family fairly quickly.
I think you just touched on something there, and this is something that's really important for us to help people do when they join this program, is make people feel at home around you.
Yes.
No matter where you are. I mean, obviously, listen, I've been in sales. It's not obvious to most people, but I've been in sales for 42 years. I started when I was basically 16, and I've been in full commission sales for 33 years now. Made most of my living over the phone talking to people. And boy, if you don't think that's a challenge, it is a challenge to actually connect with somebody without seeing them in person. And many of my clients today, I still have never met face to face, and we're like best friends. I know them, they know me, they know my voice, I know their voice. We connect. I know their family, I know what they've done, I know where they've been. And what's interesting about it is that you can create these deep relational connections with people, and you can do it instantly. There is an art to doing it instantly. And we've talked about it a little bit earlier when you say it's not about you, it's about them. You've got to be interested in others. And you also giving is an aspect of it. Giving of yourself. It's also being able to recognize when you have the opportunity to engage with other people, because sometimes people don't want to be engaged with, and you've got to be able to recognize when that's the case. It's not always a situation where you've got everybody's a prospect, and there are businesses where everybody might use your product, or everybody, if you have a book, everybody may be everybody's a reader.
Well, I want to pick up on something you just said. You mentioned engagement.
Exactly.
So I was taking a nap one day here, and it was a summer day, and if you had asked me before I went outside, you say, Glenn, how are you at changing tires or working with jacks? I'd say, I have minimal skill. So this woman had gotten a flat right in front of me, and I engaged to help her. And I'll tell you, it was like a week later, she wrote me. She turned out to be the supervisor or the superintendent of schools in this area. She had just moved here from La Jolla. And she wrote me those beautiful letters. And the lesson was for me, and this is a lesson potentially for you guys, is that once you engage, there's another aspect of you that comes forward that's beyond you. So there's a book, I think it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So part of how we think of ourselves it gets in the way because our self-memory tricks us. Because a lot of times the things that happen, the most miraculous, and I want to share something very personal. I had a medical doctor that was very interesting. We had a powerful relationship. And just to give you a sense of myself, and I think this is probably true for Michael, but she said to me one day, the most heart-touching thing, she said to me, she said, you know, Glenn, she goes, I graduated Brown, went to medical school. She goes, I have a family. And she goes, you're the only person in my life that actually sees me. Because I haven't been seen before. And it was the most beautiful thing because I realized about how much confusion and what I thought of myself but didn't think of myself. Her saying that to me was the most valuable thing, the most valuable feedback, because what else is there? So when someone feels seen by you, they go beyond this thing called a client. They become a devotee. They become, you've spoken to them another level.
That's it. You know, what I hear you saying is vulnerability. You know, you basically were vulnerable, and I think you have to be vulnerable. Many people, they live in a shell. They create this image of themselves, and it's the way they look, it's the way they carry themselves, it's the way they talk, it's what, you know, what they regurgitate in terms of their product, you know, whatever, features, advantages, and benefits. You know, and it's a sales message. It's not you. It's just something you've created, this persona. What's cool is you got the greatest compliment ever. That is that you saw them. They said you saw them for who they were. They hadn't been seen in a while. And that is so amazing. And you're right. People become beholden to you when you give of yourself. And it may be, what I like to do is look for opportunities where I can help someone in some way. And it's a random act of kindness. It's whatever it is, because giving is, I think, the key to getting in life. You have to give, but you have to not expect anything in return. But if you have that expectation, then it's all out of whack, right? It's not sincere. It's not in any way real. It's not authentic. And what we're looking to do is to help shape people who come into this program, and not even shape so much as help bring out their authenticity. Help bring out their authenticity, because the authenticity is what makes people beholden to you.
And it's right there.
Yeah, it's just right there. It's already there. Everything that we're going to help bring out of you is already there. We talked about this, you know, when we were looking to make this video and create this program, is that everything that we're going to help you with is already there. All we're looking to do is to draw it out of you and help you see it. Bring it from the background to the foreground so that you can have it in your conscious awareness on a daily basis, moment to moment, so that you can actually engage with other people and do it in a very authentic way.
So I just want to say to you, don't figure it out. And I want you right now to drop in, which you're going to talk about in the course. So dropping in is kind of like you're here and just get a sense you're dropping into this place. That sense of wonderment, that sense of curiosity.
Yeah.
You know, a kid down the block has it all the time, and we think it's up here, and really it's here. We're gonna have you drop in. You're gonna be able to dissolve some distress, the distress of having to do something, rather than the ability to sit and be in and be receptive. And from that place, you can be with the client. So I want to encourage you. This is speaking to you. I want you to. I would warmly invite you to be part of this. I'm so eager. I know as Michael's going to meet you and do something really, I would say, extraordinary, something very different. That's not just like, okay, you're doing this course for this purpose, but really you're going to be in touch and wake up and cultivate another ability with us. And it's going to be a real partnership too. It's not like us telling you stuff. It's really we're listening with you so we can wake up to it and implement it.
It's 3 sessions of demonstration. The sessions don't have a time limit. We're here to actually get results. It's not like, okay, hour here, hour there, done, finished, okay, whatever. The idea here is to work with you and make this transformation something that is natural to you. Yeah. I think that's really super, super important to understand. What makes us different than, let me ask you, what do you think makes us, what we're going to be doing with people who are watching this video, people who want to sign up for this program, what is it that you feel that is different about this than what you've seen out there?
Well, I think that what I've said to people about Michael, and I think this is so wonderfully a part of our relationship, which I feel is contagious. there's a coherence, there's an in syncness, it's kind of like when I met one of my teachers, what I would say about Paul Bragg was, he's, he spoke to me before he spoke to me. It's like his energy, his welcomeness. And with Michael was the first person I met that really lived. He didn't just think about it, he lived it. He was in the livingness of it. So in the livingness, it's like feeling the ocean rather than like looking at the ocean, like this experience. And I feel like, well, I started to have just deep appreciation for Michael, because Michael was so congruent. Like Michael would say stuff to me like other people, like, hey, I'm going to send you this thing and this is going to happen. A lot of people would drop off, and Michael would be back to me in 2 days, and it would be done. And it really was a very, it was almost like a part of family, because I really realized I could trust Michael. And if you notice in the business world, that a lot of people abandon you. They do stuff that they're not aware of. So awareness and having this connection with Michael really have my life move forward, because I couldn't do it on my own. So with Michael, if you think about it like this, we amplified a superpower and brought it to another level because we were together. And that's what we want to invite you to be part of us and bring your superpower.
That is so absolutely true. That is so absolutely true. It's one of those things where you look at the world out there today, and the consumer is changing. The consumer is transforming. The consumer is looking for something completely different. They're looking for authenticity. They're not looking to be marketed to. We talked about this a little bit earlier. The patterns that are out there have they're no longer viable. They're no longer viable, and that's really the key. And when we came together and started talking and creating, and I think Glenn mentioned this a little bit earlier, when we had a radio show together, we were on several stations around the country. We brought some of the top people together, so the top cardiologists, top pancreatic cancer doctor, some people who had who were some of the leaders in their fields,
models, speakers.
Yeah, we were able to,
people that were real masters, who had heart,
to sit down with them and have a conversation. A conversation. It's not an interview. It's a discussion, and there was a level of trust developed that was completely and totally unique. And when you develop that level of trust with your client or somebody who's a prospective buyer of your book or your product or your service or whatever, this is what we're looking to do. We're looking to have you be that authentic person, express yourself in an incredibly honest way. Being versus doing. Great concept. That's what we're looking to do, is looking to be, not fabricate, be. Okay? So here's the thing. The invitation is here for you. It's an open invitation to join Glenn and I for going beyond the formula, to create the message. We're going to help you develop, help bring out of you your own authentic, deep message. The one for whatever it is you're looking to pursue, whether it's a book, a product, a service, a business. You've got to express yourself, what your inner being, what your passion is for. Why are you doing it, right? If you go to somebody and you talk about, oh, this is the great product that I have, that's one thing. That's what people aren't really interested in anymore. Everybody's doing that. But how about going to them and actually expressing in a different way what it is that you do, what you have? It's about developing a relationship with someone, that level of trust in whatever way, giving versus taking. It's a lot of different things. This is what we're inviting you to do, is to go on this journey with us in this program, going beyond the formula. You can reach us. You can reach either of us. You can respond to inquiry at michaeljruss.com, which is my particular email, inquiry@michaeljruss.com. You can also give us a call. The number would be 850-866-6965. That's 850-866-6965. You'll see it at the bottom of this video as well. And definitely check us out. I'm at michaeljruss.com, and Glenn is at vibrantlivingconnections.com.
Well, it's It's fine they go through you, Michael. They want to reach me. That's totally fine.
Perfect. Inquiry at michaeljruss.com. We'd love to discuss joining this program, get started with you. By the way, this is an immersive program. It's an immersive program, which means that we want to have these conversations within a very compact period of time so that it's all fresh. It's all moving. The journey.
Wait a second. Now that you said that, the image that came to mind, and I'm not sure we're doing this, Michael, because you're more familiar with the specific details. Will people get a very fancy like Turkish robe? Because it sounds, I'm thinking the Turkish robe's involved, but it is immersive.
Best cotton in the world. Best cotton in the world comes out of Turkey.
Exactly. That's what I was
saying. What we ought to tell you, too, is that you're going to get a video like this, a video discussion. At the end of the sessions, we're going to produce this kind of discussion where you get the opportunity to share your authentic message, the one that we've helped bring forth from you. And it's going to be absolutely awesome. You'll be able to use it in your marketing, in your social media, put it on your website, send it out to people so that they understand what your product, service, business, book is all, and you and that is about. Okay, so please, again, inquiry at michaeljruss.com. Contact me in whatever time frame you see fit. Let's just have a discussion about it. If you have questions, want to make sure they get those answered for you so that we can move forward on this. Okay, I'm Michael J. Russ. This is with Glenn Brooks, and this is Going Beyond the Formula. And we look forward to having you join us on this journey. It's your journey.
Thank you. Your life's precious. Enjoy it. By the way, you can put your questions aside and just enroll and have that wonderful experience with us. We always have questions. This is something I recommend you all because I want to meet. If this touched you, be in touch with us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Glenn. Take care of yourself. We're going to make another one of these as well, talking about a different topic. The next topic will be assessing your obstacles to success. Very important to eliminate those obstacles. Look for that one. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.